Today I'm going to go through the removal of Jaguar XE front door panel. Ever since I've had the car, which is from new, the speakers vibrate a little bit at the front, particularly on voice calls. So I'm going to see if we can fix it. I'm just going to go through the process of taking the door off. First we need to take off the little plastic moulding around the door handle. You need a trim removal kit. Some of those trim removal tools, and it actually just pops out. Obviously it's difficult to do this while I'm holding the camera, but pretty much you just get your removal tool and pop it forward. Carefully go all the way around with your panel or trim removal tool. Just be careful because there's a lot of plastic nibs behind there, and you want to make sure you actually sort of prise it forward so you don't break any of those plastic nibs off. Once you've removed the plastic trim, there is, if you see there, a little screw there. It's I think it's a T20 star. Just take that screw completely out. The other little screws can stay in for now, and that's the screw and the trim there removed. You'll see the little plastic nibs on the back, so just try not to break them. Next, we need to remove this little piece here, which again, it just clips in. There's a sort of plastic clip here and a plastic clip down here. So just use your trim removal tool and pop it forward. So that's the trim just popped off. So it's got a couple of little plastic clips on the back, and it just pops off with your trim removal tool. And then behind there again, there's this one screw. If you can see that screw there, so again, it's another star. Just remove that screw, and that's that little trim and the screw removed. Next we need to remove the little door handle piece here. So inside here you'll see there's a little plastic cap. Just get a little screwdriver, remove that plastic cap. Underneath there is a I think it's a hex head. I believe it's a 6mm hex head. So you need a little socket set, so just remove that clip and the screw that's underneath that. Okay, so you can see I've removed the little plastic cap and the screw, and then you just get your trim removal tool, and if I can do that while holding the camera, just carefully lift that out. It's coming out fairly easily, and then once you've got that out, it sort of clips in at the front, so pull it out sort of backwards, if you know what I mean, because there's a little clip at the front there, which I don't know if you can see it, but that sort of slides in underneath. Once you've done that, you just remove the connector. Once you've disconnected the connector, it does a little push thing there. Just push that in and it pulls out. You'll see there's two more hex. I think these are an 8mm, so you need your 8mm socket set. Just remove those two screws there, take them completely out, and that's those two screws moved, and there are the components. So the next thing to do is we need to actually remove the door panel itself. So there are 10 plastic clips around the underneath and out there. So again, we need our trim removal tools. Once you start prising this off a little bit, if you have a look down there, you can see where the plastic clips are, and it helps to get obviously your little tool where the plastic clip is, so you don't break any of the clips. But so that should be I'll obviously have to put the phone down to get this off, but just release all those clips first, all the way around the outside. Right, so I've released all the clips, so you can probably see them. Some of them stay behind, but the plastic doesn't break. You can actually take these out afterwards and then pop them back in the door panel, so it's not really a problem. And then once the whole bottom is floating, there are about 5 or 6 clips here, so that has to come forward. Don't know if I showed that very well, but this you have to prise this forward now, so it doesn't lift up or it doesn't go down. It just, once all this is released, it just actually comes forward. I don't know if I might need to get the trim removal tool. Right, that's the door panel off. You can see these clips here. I say they come out this way, so again it pops off relatively easily. You've got the door handle mechanism here. If I can get round there, I'll try and turn it round. See, this just can come out. Just lift that forward like that, and then you'll see here that there's a little, you can see that just once you've pulled that to the front, that just pops out there, so it's easy enough to put back. So just release that, and then you've got the door panel off. Now it's up to you whether you want to unclip all the cables. I leave them on because I need to get to the speakers, and I can now adequately get to the speakers. I don't think it's this one that's causing the issue, it's the tweeters that are in here, because the vibration is at the top here. So once I've done all that, I'll go through the process of putting it back, but it's pretty much the reverse of taking it off, so it should be fairly straightforward. Right, I've fiddled about with the speakers now. I've put some double-sided tape in between some of the surfaces to make sure all the screws are up tight to try and reduce some of the vibrations. So we need to now put the panel back. So I need to remove these plastic clips. There's 2 left in the doors, so just get your trim removal tools and pull them both out, and then obviously they just pop back in the door panels here and here. There's the only 2 missing, so we're going to put those back now, and then we're going to pop the door panel back. Right, I've popped those 2 clips back in the door, and also just pop the door handle wire back in, same as it came out. So we're ready just to push the panel onto these clips. So just push the panel back onto these clips first, and once the panel's pushed onto those clips, and then you can push the rest of the panel back down. So I'm just going to do that now. Right, so I've just pushed that all back in, and then you can go around and just push the actual door panel back in. It just clips in quite easily. Just make sure you've got them in all the way around. Make sure it's all secure. Let's have a look. Yeah, that all seems good. And then we can, and then after that, again, it's just a reverse of what you did. So you put the 2 screws back in here and here, plug that back in, slip that in, pop that down, fix the screw, a screw in there, and then clip that back, and a screw back in there, and then push that back as well. And that's it, all back on, lovely jubbly. Didn't break any clips or anything, so I think it's fairly straightforward to do. Whether or not the vibration on the speaker's cured, hopefully it will be. I'll only find out when I turn the music on. And that's it. Hope that's been of use.